Hey, raise your hand if you belted out Hail Holy Queen in the shower after watching Sister Act. Whoopi Goldberg's powerhouse performance as Dolores Van Cartier, belting out tunes and transforming a convent choir, is pure cinematic joy. But 3 decades after Sister Act took the world by storm, what are the holy faces behind those habits up to now? Join us on a heavenly stroll down memory lane as we catch up with the cast of Sister Act, then and now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go. Number 1. Whoopi Goldberg as Dolores? Oh man, that woman's a riot. Hilarious, always got a sarcastic remark ready, but deep down, she ain't all bad. Sticking her in a convent with a bunch of nuns? Picture putting a firecracker in a library. That's Dolores. Rules and waking up at dawn? No way, Jose. But things change. Dolores starts bonding with some of the sisters, who knew? And Sister Mary Clarence, well, let's just say her past might raise some eyebrows. The head nun would have a fit. But she might actually have a good heart under that tough exterior. Whoopi Goldberg's voice has a way of cutting through the noise. Whether it's through her raw comedic routines, her powerful dramatic performances, or her candid presence on The View, she's never shied away from sparking conversations and challenging the status quo. Drawing from her challenging early life for inspiration, Goldberg gained attention with her 1984 Broadway show, directed by the famous Mike Nichols. She made a memorable film debut as Celie in Steven Spielberg's The Color Purple, earning praise and instant stardom. Her role in the hit movie Ghost brought her an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress and huge box office success. Goldberg continued her winning streak with Sister Act, and her participation in the annual Comic Relief Benefit concerts with Billy Crystal and Robin Williams showcased her passion for comedy and helping others. On television, she hosted the Academy Awards 4 times and became a prominent, sometimes controversial, co-host on The View, starting in 2007. One of the rare performers to achieve an EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony, along with the prestigious Mark Twain Award for Humor, Goldberg has entertained and inspired people worldwide, transcending barriers of sex, race, creed, and color. Dolores was played by Whoopi Goldberg when he was 27 years old, and now he is 59 years old. Number 2. Maggie Smith as Mother Superior, the head honcho at this Philadelphia convent in 1977, is all about the rules. Nuns gotta be nuns, you know? Strict traditions are her jam. Think old school values, through and through. Don't get it twisted, though. Under that serious shell, there's a whole lot of worrywart. Especially when things get, well, unexpected. But hey, she's the boss, and she'll stand her ground, even against a firecracker like Dolores, our main character. Now Dolores, she's a whole different story. Modern, lively, basically the opposite of convent life. Their clash is epic, but even Mother Superior, strict as she is, kinda cares about her nuns. Deep down, she just wants what's best for them. One of the most revered actresses on both sides of the Atlantic, Maggie Smith created a gallery of indelible characters on stage and screen, which ran the gamut from repressed spinsters to comical eccentrics. Smith quickly became an actress of note with performances in several Shakespeare plays before making an auspicious feature debut in Nowhere to Go, before stealing the show in The VIPs and gaining international acclaim for her Oscar-winning performance in the prime of Miss Jean Brodie. While making her name in dramatic roles, Smith proved equally adept at comedy, particularly with a standout turn as a sophisticated sleuth among an all-star cast in Murder by Death. She earned another Academy Award for her brilliant portrayal of a crumbling actress in California Suite before transitioning to a repressed spinster in A Room with a View. Though she appeared in a supporting capacity in broad Hollywood movies like Hook and Sister Act, Smith found comfort on Broadway and London stages while continuing to earn acclaim for smaller films like Tea with Mussolini and Robert Altman's Gosford Park. Smith reached her widest audience with Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and its numerous sequels, and earned critical acclaim as Dowager Countess of Grantham on the wildly popular series Downton Abbey, allowing her the opportunity to impress a whole new generation as she continued to maintain her reputation as one of the greatest actresses of all time. Mother Superior was played by Maggie Smith when she was 5 years old, and now she is 89 years old. Number 3. Harvey Keitel as Vince LaRocca. Vince, the leader of the crew, is a tough guy. Think muscles and a mean glare, but surprisingly calm most of the time. Unless you really tick him off, then watch out. He runs things with a cold hand, not exactly the nicest boss. But here's the twist. He seems to genuinely care about Dolores, even though he's stuck with his wife. Divorce is a big no-no in their religion. Vince ain't afraid to get his hands dirty. We're talking serious stuff here. He's had people silenced before. Not a pretty picture. So yeah, Vince might have a soft spot for Dolores, but don't cross him. Sure, Harvey Keitel can play a mean degenerate or killer on screen, but to say that's all he does is a huge mistake. This guy's got way more range than that. Early on, Keitel built his career with intense supporting roles in Martin Scorsese films like Taxi Driver and Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. He wasn't exactly playing Mr. Nice Guy, but these characters were memorable nonetheless. For a while, Hollywood didn't quite know what to do with him, so he took his talents overseas and found success in European films. Then came the 1990s, a turning point for Keitel. His performance in Bugsy earned him an Oscar nomination, finally giving him the recognition he deserved in America. He became a regular on the independent film scene, starring in cult classics like Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. But Keitel wasn't just about playing edgy characters. He could be surprisingly sweet, too, like in Jane Campion's The Piano. However, he truly became known for those intense, maybe even a little dangerous, everyman roles. He could play a grizzled cop in a low-budget indie or a tough agent in a big-budget action flick. He was totally versatile. Vince LaRocca was played by Harvey Keitel when he was 53 years old, and now he is 85 years old. Number 4. Bill Nunn as Eddie Souther Officer. Eddie, well, he's not exactly the coolest cop on the force, maybe a little nerdy even. But hey, there's a hidden hero waiting to break out. He might get down sometimes, job can be tough, but Eddie takes it all in stride. One thing's for sure, he's a good cop through and through. Duty and honor, those are his middle names. Keeping the streets safe, that's what Eddie lives for. He doesn't need fancy stunts or flashing lights. Eddie gets the job done with his gut instinct and strong moral compass. More quiet strength than loud showmanship, that's his style. Okay, so he might sweat a little when things get hairy. Makes him human, right? Even cops get nervous. But despite the anxiety, Eddie's commitment to doing what's right never wavers. Bill Nunn's life took some interesting turns. Born into a sports journalism family in Philadelphia, he even got to be a ball boy for the Pittsburgh Steelers alongside future team president Art Rooney II. They even had a wild adventure joyriding Mean Joe Green's car, though they wisely kept it a secret for a while. Nunn originally planned a career in politics, attending Morehouse College to study political science. But then, acting stole his heart. After graduating in 1976, he set his sights on Hollywood. His journey started with a small uncredited role in a Burt Reynolds movie. But it wasn't long before he landed parts in films by his Morehouse classmate Spike Lee. Lee cast him in School Days, and then the iconic Do the Right Thing, where Nunn played the unforgettable Radio Raheem. Nunn's career kept building with memorable roles in movies like New Jack City, Blood Brothers, and Money Train. He even teamed up with Spike Lee again for He Got Game. But superhero fans might recognize him best as Robbie Robertson, the friendly newspaper editor in all 3 of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies. Nunn wasn't just a movie star, though. He also graced the Broadway stage, playing Walter Lee Younger in a critically acclaimed production of A Raisin in the Sun. His final on-screen role was in the police comedy series Sirens. Eddie Souther was played by Bill Nunn when he was 49 years old. Sadly, Nunn died on September 24, 2016, at his home in Pittsburgh's Hill District. He was 62 years old. His widow, Donna, confirmed that he had leukemia. Number 5. Mary Wickes as Mary Lazarus. Sister. Mary Lazarus, one of the older nuns and the choir director at first, might come across as a bit grumpy. Think of her like a grumpy grandpa, gruff on the outside, but with a heart of gold. But beneath that gruffness lies a hidden fire. When Dolores comes along and starts shaking things up with the choir, Sister Mary Lazarus surprises everyone by being totally on board. Hard work and dedication, that's her jam. And seeing the choir come alive under Dolores's direction, pure joy for her. The more the choir thrives, the more you see a different side of Sister Mary Lazarus. There's a hidden spark in her, and she loves that the new style brings in more people. She's even one of the first to vote for taking their act all the way to the Pope. Forget stuffy hymns. Sister Mary Lazarus is ready to belt out some tunes. Mary Wickes wasn't your typical leading lady, but with her tall, awkward frame, unforgettable chin, and witty remarks, she became an irreplaceable character actress. Wickes's career stretched across decades, starting on stage in the 1930s. She was a fixture on Broadway, appearing in nearly 20 plays, many written or directed by the legendary George S. Kaufman. But her big break came in 1939 with The Man Who Came to Dinner. Playing the exasperated nurse Miss Preen opposite the bombastic Sheridan Whiteside, Monty Woolley, Wickes had audiences roaring with laughter. This iconic role became her signature. She reprised it on film in 1941, on radio with Fred Allen, and even on TV in 1972 with Orson Welles. But Wickes wasn't a one-trick pony. She went on to appear in hundreds of stock productions, 10 TV series, countless guest spots, and nearly 50 movies. Whether she was playing a housekeeper, a nurse, or a nun, her comedic timing and sharp wit shone through. Marie Wickes may not have been the star of the show, but she was the scene stealer you couldn't forget. Her dedication to the craft and her talent for bringing quirky characters to life made her a true treasure of the stage and screen. Mary Lazarus was played by Mary Wickes when she was 82 years old. Sadly, Wickes suffered from numerous ailments in the last years of her life that cumulatively resulted in her hospitalization, where she fell and broke her hip. She died of complications following hip surgery on October 22, 1995, at the age of 85 at the UCLA Medical Center in Los Angeles. Number 6. Kathy Najimy as Mary Patrick. Sister Mary Patrick, sunshine in a wimple. This bubbly nun is one of the first to welcome Dolores with open arms. Her optimism is contagious, always keeping the spirits high among the sisters. She's got a mischievous side, too. Remember when she snuck out with Dolores to a bar? Hilarious. But her real passion is singing and dancing. And let me tell you, she brings that energy to the choir in spades. Sister Mary Patrick makes everything they do more fun, more vibrant, and way more impactful on the community. A dark-haired, vivacious comic character actress with stage experience, Kathy Najimy began her film career playing small, outlandish roles, such as a crazed video store customer in Terry Gilliam's The Fisher King and the all-seeing costume mistress in daytime TV satire Soap Dish. Her breakout came with her scene-stealing turn as the rotund, maniacally sunny-spirited Sister Mary Patrick in the unexpectedly popular Sister Act. She followed this up with her role as the obsequious, ever-hungry Mary Sanderson, one of a trio of witches accidentally reincarnated in the Disney comedy Hocus Pocus, before recreating her religious role in the inevitable sequel, Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. For the sequel, she reportedly demanded and received a $1 million paycheck. Oddly, other feature film roles did not follow, and she was almost entirely off the big screen until Paul Rudnick's romantic comedy drama Jeffrey, in what amounted to a cameo, and Nevada, a contemporary Western about a town seemingly populated only by women. Although she remained a steady presence as a character actress in both television and film, Najimy settled into working most often as a voice actress, most notably as suburban Texas wife and mother Peggy Hill on Mike Judge's long-running animated comedy King of the Hill and in Pixar's ecological fable Wall-E. Mary Patrick was played by Kathy Najimy when she was 35 years old, and now she is 67 years old. Number 7. Wendy Makkena as Mary Roberts' sister. Mary Robert always dreamed of being a nun, serving others, living a life of purpose. That's what she craved. But a part of her also longed to do more, to truly shine. The problem? Insecurity. She felt like she was always in everyone else's shadow. Singing in the choir? Forget about it. Too scared to even open her mouth. She'd just mouth the words in the back. But then Sister Mary Clarence, that's Dolores undercover, swooped in and took over. With some encouragement and a whole lot of belief, Sister Mary Robert found her voice. Literally, now she belts it out with the best of them. Wendy Makkena is a versatile actress who's comfortable on both the big and small screen and even graced the Broadway stage. Early in her career, Makkena landed roles in comedic films like Sister Act and Sister Act 2 alongside Whoopi Goldberg. She also showed her range in movies like the family favorite Air Bud and the independent drama Finding North. On television, she had parts in shows like Law and Order and CSI. But Makkena isn't just about movies and TV. She's also a talented stage actress. In fact, her career began on Broadway in the farce Lend Me a Tenor, and she even danced with the prestigious New York City Ballet. Later, she returned to theater with off-Broadway productions like The Shawl, alongside Diane Wiest. As her career progressed, Makkena transitioned more towards television. She landed recurring roles on shows like NCIS, The Good Wife, and Rizzoli and Isles. More recently, she appeared in the political comedy series Alpha House. Wendy Makkena's career is a testament to her talent and dedication to her craft. She's a true entertainer who has brought joy to audiences across different mediums. Mary Robert was played by Wendy Makkena when she was 34 years old, and now she is 65 years old. Number 8. Joseph Maher as Bishop O'Hara. Monsignor O'Hara, a big cheese in the church world, is all about tradition. Rules and regulations, his middle name. He takes his faith seriously, and keeping things the way they've always been is important to him. That's why Dolores, our main character, throws him for a loop. She's about shaking things up with the choir, and let's just say that clashes with Monsignor O'Hara's old-school ways. He represents the folks who like things a certain way, while Dolores is all about change. But here's the thing. Monsignor O'Hara isn't heartless. He genuinely cares about the nuns and wants what's best for them. So he's stuck in this internal battle. Tradition versus maybe there's a better way? His interactions with Dolores are all about this struggle. Will he stick to the old ways, or will Dolores's fresh approach win him over? Joseph Maher, a veteran character actor with a mane of silver hair and a penchant for mustaches, brought comedic life to countless roles on stage and screen. Originally from Ireland, Maher took a leap at 22 and moved to Canada, where he dabbled in the oil industry and bartending before discovering his true passion, acting. He started his professional career on the Canadian stage, debuting in a production of The Taming of the Shrew in 1959. 3 years later, he set his sights even higher, migrating to the U.S. Maher quickly established himself in the New York theater scene, sharing the stage with legends like Dustin Hoffman, Zoe Caldwell, and Al Pacino. He wasn't afraid to venture beyond the Big Apple either, performing in regional theaters across the country. While theater was his first love, Maher occasionally graced the small screen as well. He even landed a supporting role alongside Julie Harris in the television production of Little Moon of Alban in 1964. Joseph Maher's career was a testament to his comedic timing and stage presence. He brought laughter to audiences for decades, making even the most ordinary roles, butlers, clerics, you name it, shine with humor. Bishop O'Hara was played by Joseph Maher when he was 58 years old. Sadly, Maher died of a brain tumor at his home in Los Angeles, California on 17th of July, 1998, at age 64. Number 9. Richard Portnow as Willie Willie's one of Vince LaRocca's guys, the kind of guy who does what the boss says. Loyalty is his middle name. But here's the thing. Willie's a bit of a nervous wreck. Unexpected situations? Not his forte. Gets him all flustered, which can be pretty funny. He follows orders usually. But when it comes to hurting Dolores, our main character, something changes. Maybe it's a conscience he didn't know he had, but Willie hesitates. Turns out, there's a decent guy under that mobster exterior. His interactions with Dolores show a softer side. He might be part of the crew, but he's not completely heartless. Willie adds a touch of humor and unexpected humanity to the whole story. Talk about a close call! Actor Richard Portnow arrived in Bangkok for Good Morning Vietnam, 1987, only to discover he'd been studying the wrong role. What could have been a disaster turned into a lucky break. He mastered the new part, Dan the Man Levitan, in just a few days, showcasing his quick thinking and acting chops. This wasn't the first time Portnow's career took an unexpected turn. The Brooklyn-born actor, with a background rich in life experiences, transitioned from the New York stage to Hollywood in the 1980s. He landed diverse supporting roles in shows like The Equalizer and movies like Tin Men and Say Anything. By the 90s, Portnow's gruff charm made him a go-to actor for authority figures. He appeared in high-profile projects like C7N, EZ Streets, and his iconic role as the high-priced mob lawyer Harold Melvoin on The Sopranos. Even today, Portnow continues to grace our screens. He's appeared in shows like Boston Legal and movies like Hitchcock. Richard Portnow's career is a testament to his adaptability and talent, proving that sometimes even a wrong turn can lead to something great. Willie was played by Richard Portnow when he was 45 years old, and now he is 77 years old. Number 10. Ellen Albertini Dow as Choir Nunn. The choir nuns at St. Catherine's Convent are a dedicated bunch. Singing and spreading their faith through music, that's their jam? But even though they're devout, they feel a little cooped up in the convent. There's a whole world out there, and they want to use their voices to make a positive impact. Each nun brings her own flavor to the choir, making their performances even more special. And when Dolores joins them, things get even more interesting. Their interactions add layers to the story, showing how faith, music, and friendship can bring people together. When audiences saw the trailer for the romantic comedy film The Wedding Singer, many took note of the petite elderly woman performing Rapper's Delight and asked, "Who is she?" The answer is Ellen Albertini Dow, a veteran of NYC's Yiddish theater and a former drama teacher in LA. Although coy about her age, Dow has been playing feisty old women since she resumed her acting career in the mid-1980s, with a chilling turn as a mass murderer on an episode of The Twilight Zone. Since then, she played small roles in numerous TV shows and a handful of films. Dow offered a memorable guest turn on a 1995 episode of Seinfeld as Jay Peterman's elderly mother. But it was her performance as a woman celebrating her 50th wedding anniversary who surprises her guests with a hip-hop number that made people take notice. Director Frank Corazzi had cast Dow primarily on the strength of her rendition of the 1959 classic Till There Was You, which she also performed in the film. Audiences were primed for her appearance as a cocaine-snorting oldster in the disco-flavored 54. Choir Nunn was played by Ellen Albertini when she was 79 years old. Sadly, Dow died on May 4, 2015 at the age of 101 due to pneumonia number 11. Robert Miranda as Joey, a tough guy in his 30s or 40s, works for the gangster Curtis Jackson. Back in 1977, Philadelphia's underworld was his stomping ground. Joey tries to act all street smart and macho, but you can tell he's got a bit of a nervous streak. That's what makes him funny sometimes. Deep down, Joey isn't all brawn and no heart. There are glimpses of a good guy under that rough exterior, but his loyalty to Curtis gets put to the test when things get messy. Will he stay blindly faithful, or will he do what he thinks is right? Robert Miranda is a seasoned actor who's left his mark on both the big and small screen. His career stretches back to the 1980s, where he landed roles in TV movies like Command 5 and The Last Precinct. He also appeared in shows like First and 10 and Wise Guy. Joey was played by Robert Miranda when he was 40 years old, and now he is 72 years old. Number 12. Jim Beaver as Clarkson, one of the folks at St. Catherine's Convent, might not have a lot of lines, but he definitely leaves a mark. There's a bit of mystery to him, which makes things interesting. Even though he keeps to himself, his presence is strong. You can tell there's a lot going on beneath the surface just by watching his actions and expressions. Clarkson's one of the silent supporters at the convent. He stands behind the nuns and their mission, even if he stays in the background. He might not be the most vocal, but his quiet strength adds depth to the story. Actor and writer James Beaver could well be called a factotum. His long and varied career has included stints as a film historian, playwright, ghostwriter, stage, television and film actor, cab driver, projectionist, amusement park stuntman, ballet stagehand, and corn chip dough mixer. He started acting in theater in Oklahoma while attending college. As a burgeoning film historian, he also completed his first book at this time on actor John Garfield. His stage work continued with his move to New York City in the late 1970s, and in 1983, he ventured out to Hollywood. He joined Theater West and became both actor and playwright for the organization. Beaver soon thereafter branched into television with scripts for the famous suspense anthology Alfred Hitchcock Presents and the war serials Tour of Duty and Vietnam War Story. As a Marine Corps veteran, he was snatched up for a part as Bruce Willis's Army buddy in 1989's In Country. The role kick-started his on-screen acting career, and he has worked steadily in film and TV ever since, most notably as the crusty but warm-hearted prospector Whitney Ellsworth on HBO's cunningly foul-mouthed western Deadwood, and in a recurring role on the horror-fraught Supernatural. His memoir, Life's That Way, recounts his wife's lost battle with lung cancer in 2003. He is also the author of a biography of George Reeves and was a consultant on Hollywoodland, a film about the actor's curious death. Clarkson was played by Jim Beaver when he was 42 years old, and now he is 73 years old. Number 13. Jennifer Lewis as Michelle is one of Dolores Van Cartier's backup singers. She performs at the Moonlight Lounge, adding her voice to the lively musical numbers. Michelle has a quirky sense of humor, often singing along with Tina. Her loyalty to Dolores and the group shines through their performances. When Vince LaRocca sends Dolores a purple mink coat, Michelle encourages her to wear it. However, Dolores discovers it's Connie LaRocca's coat, leading to an amusing revelation. Jennifer Lewis is a powerhouse entertainer whose career spans film, television, theater, and even music. Nicknamed the Black Mother of Hollywood for her countless maternal roles, Lewis brings a depth and warmth to every character she portrays. Born in St. Louis, Missouri, Lewis studied theater and then headed to New York City to chase her dreams. She started out strong, debuting on Broadway and even joining Bette Midler's iconic backing group, the Staggering Harlettes. But Lewis's sights were set on acting. She landed roles in movies like Red Heat and Sister Act, and television shows like A Different World and The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Her big break came in 1993 when she played Tina Turner's mother in the biopic What's Love Got to Do with It? While Lewis excelled at playing maternal figures in films like Poetic Justice and The Preacher's Wife, she wasn't afraid to break the mold. She became the first actress to portray an African-American lesbian character on television in Courthouse. She also showed her comedic range in movies like Karina Karina and Girl 6. Lewis even took on a leading role in the mockumentary Jackie's Back, and voiced characters in animated hits like The PJs and Cars. She landed a long-running role on the medical drama Strong Medicine and continued to grace both the big and small screen throughout the 2000s. In 2014, Lewis landed the role that would solidify her place in television history, Ruby Johnson, the sassy and opinionated matriarch on the hit sitcom Blackish. Michelle was played by Jennifer Lewis when she was 35 years old, and now she is 67 years old. He really loved the cast of the Sister Act. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please like, comment, and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you on the next video.